planting, we attempted to get a pre-herbicide application on, and this year it was huge. We got it in all the bean acres. We did it on about 80% of the corn acres. First couple fields we didn't because it was dry, and we thought, oh, we'll be able to get back there and spray the crop later. But by the time we started getting all these rains, we got back out to the field to do our main herbicide application, and there was a huge difference in what had the pre-herbicide application on. Like this bean field was basically all clean. The part of the cornfield that didn't was pretty green with weeds. This case here, we're not nervous. We've got this wet wind that we've been in, and it sounds like a chance of rain later this week again. So if the field isn't fit to spray until next week, that's fine. The weeds are under control, and the beans are going to keep growing. And the soil fertility we deal with in the corn year, so our fertility levels are all here, so there's no other fertilizer we have to add. Soybean disease is managed a lot by the longer rotation versus every other year in beans. You know, if it's every third or every fourth year, it makes a huge difference. And then a lot looking at genetics. The beans we grow always have some resistance to soybean cyst nematode. That together with rotation is a big deal. Use seed treatments to help get the seed going. We referred to the wet conditions we had, and it's in these plants are this size. They're really susceptible to wet feet, you know, wet roots. So we like getting the moisture now because it keeps the soil profile charged, and you get to July and August, it's typically a lot drier. So if you go into that period with a full recharge of the soil, we can hold 1 to 2 inches of water per foot of soil. We've got some really good heavy soil. You just got to get these plants established. Once you get above 6 to 8 inches, the root system gets big enough, it seems to be able to support itself and get going right at first. That's where they're just very susceptible to some of those diseases. There seems to be bigger rain events, but they're a little more infrequent. So consequently, we've had to do things to weatherproof ourselves as much as we can. I mean, by the pattern tiling, we want to have the soil drain the excess moisture down. So when you do get a bigger rain, the soil can absorb a lot of it. If it runs off, you're not going to benefit from that. The other thing I guess we attempt to do is by having more corn out here, we have a little more residue, and here you can see pieces of corn residue and so on here, but that really helps as that breaks down. That creates some better water channels too for the water to infiltrate into the soil. It also helps to limit wind and water erosion.